Hi there, this is Sandra again, and I am so happy that you are here on my Sandra Longmore Hangout with Sandra Longmore show. And I have some questions for you, like I like to start my program. Always questions. Tell me, are you one of those creative types that thinks too much? Do you wish you could clear the clutter from your brain and from your life? Do you wish there was a good solution by someone who knows what they're talking about? And do you wish that you had a support group to help you work through the rough spots and help with your clarity? Well, you come to the right place because this program is being created every single week to inspire and uplift a situation in your life's journey. And today's topic is topic number 31, and I am going to talk about how to clear clutter from your artistic brain with Kimberly Burnham, PhD, and me, Sandra Longmore, Law of Attraction Trainer. So welcome to Sandra Longmore, Hangout with Sandra Longmore, and I am here with the first 3 Saturdays. Whoops, what's happening there? There's going to be a change. You know, we don't ever step in the same river twice. So there's going to be a change with my schedule, and it might be next week, I'm not sure, but I'm going to probably go to Thursdays at noon. But just check my internet site, and I will have the latest date there and the latest time, also on my social media. So who I am, I'm an energy master that practices her craft. I have learned that if I pay attention to the law of attraction, that things go better for me. And so I practice it 24 hours a day. And I got so excited about learning about law of attraction, I became certified in it and also certified in life coaching. And it just keeps getting better from there. I'm also a teacher of art. I'm actually in my studio here, in my art studio at the art school where I work. And I wanted to just show you this because I thought you might like to start seeing some of the paintings my students do. And this one is, let's see if you can see that pretty good. This one is one of my students, Maya, who finished this today. Isn't that awesome? Her stroke value and everything is getting so good. So, a little bit of painting, a little bit of solution, a little bit of upliftment today is what you're going to get. Because this show is about living the highest vibration possible. I like to call it vibrazione, living of high vibrazione, which means just vibration. And I like to think about us living our life as an art in progress, and finding all the good things that's going to help you live a more beautiful life through thoughts, beauty, and solutions. And how you can do this successfully is because I have guests and experts and panel members that have solutions, and they've done it in their own personal life. And I'd like to introduce today the member in my panel, and also will be my main speaker, Kimberly Burnham, PhD.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on your show. I really look forward to the show today.
Good. And Kimberly, let's see, I hear you're a nerve whisperer, right?
Right. And one of the reasons that I call myself the nerve whisperer is that if you think about the dog whisperer, the horse whisperer, what are they doing? They are using words, using hand signals, using body language to communicate with the animal, the dog or the horse, to elicit the best behavior from the animal. And I find that I do a similar thing. I use my hands, my body language, my coaching, my words to elicit the best function from your nervous system. And one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today on this show, I really appreciate what Sandra is doing in terms of helping artists to really unleash that creativity and what's inside, the beauty that is inside, to bring it outside. And one of the ways that I help people improve their brain health and improve the way that their nervous system is able to communicate, like bridge that inner world with the outer world and share what the creativity and beauty that they have inside, is through color. Color is something that artists, obviously, artists, painters, for example, they're always looking at colors. They're thinking about colors, what colors go together well, how to create a sense of shape and space and the pattern that they want to create in their painting. And colors also affect our physical health. And there are a number of different systems where color is used to improve health. In traditional Chinese medicine, for example, the color green is associated with the wood elements, which are the liver and the gallbladder. So that from that way of thinking, that basis, if you focus on the color green, whether it's looking outside at trees or green plants in a natural environment, or whether you're looking at a painting, there have been studies that show that if you look at the color green, whether it's outside in a natural environment or in a painting of a green natural environment, what happens in your brain is similar. The changes that happen in your brain are similar. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the idea is that if you wear green clothing, if you pay attention to green, if you use green in your paintings, that helps to support your liver and gallbladder function, which both of those organs very important for your digestion and your immune system. The color red, on the other hand, red is an interesting color because, Sandra talks about vibration. Light and colors are just vibration. And the vibration of red is a faster vibration than the vibration of blue or violet. And it's the reason that we have red stop signs and red lights, because that light touches our eyes and catches, helps us to catch the information that's being conveyed in a faster way, so that the city, the police, they don't really care whether you go through a green light and you don't really notice the green light, or they don't care that once the light is turned green, whether you go really fast through the intersection. But they do very much care whether you see and stop with a red light. And so that's why it's red. And so different colors affect our body in different ways. And you may be familiar with a technique called emotional freedom technique, or tapping. And it's where you tap on the top of your head, the front of the eyes, the side of the eyes, under the nose, or on the chin, the collarbones, the sides, and then on the side of your hands. Well,
I do that, Kimberly. I do that, and I've really gotten some good results from it.
Right, and all of those places can be connected with certain meridians in traditional Chinese medicine, or acupuncture meridians, and each one of those meridians is associated with a different color. And so one of the things that I've found a way to kind of bridge that communication from the outside world and our inner environment is to do the tapping, but just use colors. So traditionally with the tapping, people say things like, even though I have a headache, I love and accept myself, or something like that. But what I've found is that you can also do it just visualizing the colors, or actually looking at the colors. And so I'll just, this chart that I put together is on my website, and you can download it at the website that's there just below my name, which is sensationalmedicine.creatingcalmnetwork.com. You can download it. But I'll just go through the colors, and we can just do this so that as you're tapping on the top of your head, you can visualize the color violet. Or look around in your environment and see what is there that's a violet. And violet is also the color associated with the crown chakra. And then top of the eyes, this is associated with the bladder meridian, which is the color blue is associated with the top of the eyes. And then the side of the eyes are associated with the gallbladder meridian and the color green. And then under the eyes, associated with the color yellow and the stomach meridian. And then under the nose and the chin, both associated with the color violet. And then the collarbone associated with the kidney meridian and the color blue. And under the arms, associated with the spleen and the color yellow. And then the sides of the eyes, the sides of the hands, the karate chop point, associated with the color red. And if as you're tapping, you're going through, you can close your eyes and visualize these colors, the violet, the blue, the green, yellow, the red. You can visualize these colors, and it starts to shift how those organ systems feel and how they function. And also, there are emotions associated with the different colors and with the different organ systems. And so that, for example, the color blue associated with the bladder and the kidneys is also associated with fear. So that I find that tapping on the eyebrows and visualizing that color blue is also a way to subconsciously to let go of some of the fear in your life, some of the things that you're afraid of. Green is associated with the wood elements, which the emotion associated with that is anger. And so tapping on the side of your eyes while you look around at what is green in your world, in your space, or close your eyes and visualize things that are green or things that you love that are green, helps you to let go of anger. And just, you know, the thing about emotions is that there aren't really bad or good emotions, but there are flowing or moving emotions, or there are stuck emotions. And so we want to just let things flow and move. And so the side of the eye can help you to get any anger that you're holding in your body to flow. And
you know, Kimberly, it's kind of interesting because you see people do this kind of unconsciously, like, you know, like that. You see people doing stuff like that. You see people going, you know, like that.
Right.
Is that? Do you think that they're just kind of balancing themselves, but quite unconsciously?
I think so. I think so. And I think that it works amazingly well. I read a study once where they said that parents often will go into the baby's room and they'll straighten them out and put the cover over them. and they said you shouldn't do that. With a baby that can move around, can roll onto its side and can turn over and can move, that you shouldn't like straighten them out, because they put their body in that position that helps the certain muscles that need more relaxation to relax. And so even if it looks like you look at them and you think, oh, that can't be comfortable, as long as they are a baby that can move, they will naturally go into the most comfortable position. And so I think that a lot of times people do those things that help to make them the most comfortable and the most functional possible. I think that just when you add that element of consciousness, it speeds up the process so that you can just really get healthier and let those emotions flow. And I think that it's so important for artists, or for any of us that want to free up those creative juices. That stuck emotions, they don't help someone who wants to express their creativity. And sometimes if you're angry and you paint or you do some other art project, it can be a way to release that. And sometimes you'll see a painting and you think, wow, I really feel a lot of anger coming from that. But I find that the most creative, the most beautiful, powerful pieces are pieces where there's a flow of energy and that it's not stuck.
Yeah, I agree. It feels better when it does that. I also would like to make a comment about an exhibit I went to a number of years ago, and it was about at Marylhurst University there in Portland, Oregon, and it was about people, mostly young girls, who had been abused. And so the subject of all the paintings was abuse, and I had never had a consciousness of what that must be like, but through that showing of all the the different symbols and the images of how these people felt when this was happening to them, and was tremendous for me to get that awareness, and I'm sure for them to release and be recognized and have somebody understand what it must have been like. So what a powerful thing is painting and emotion. It's really incredible. And I often have my students here. I'll have the students that come in. Some of them don't have any trouble. They're just going with the flow and just happily doing it. And others will just they'll say, oh, I'm no good at doing circles, or I'm no good at this. And I go, well, the first thing we're going to do is take that. Actually, I don't know if this is a muscle release or not, but I just go like this. I say, we're going to take that out of your brain. We're just clearing that out of your brain, and reframing it like you can't do circles today, but guess what? It's a process. There are other things in your life you didn't know how to do, like you didn't know how to ride a bicycle. Sometimes they'll say, I don't have a bicycle. So anyway, well, you didn't know how to walk. You didn't know how to feed yourself, those kinds of things. But you learned, and you'll learn how to do circles. No problem. Just have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can really be a process of finding that way to flow the energy so that you can really learn and take in information from your environment. And color is one of the ways that we take in information from our environment. And so I find that the more aware we are of color, the more we're able to understand the pattern. One of the ways that we feel safe is by understanding the pattern. And circles are a pattern, right? So that, and if you feel like, oh, I can't draw a circle, then it's like you're stuck in a certain pattern. You're not able to to flow that pattern. And so practicing it and just practicing the movement, but also looking around and looking for different patterns, different circles, like noticing what in your environment is a circle, whether it's an orange or a wheel on a car. There are lots of circles in our environment, both natural and man-made, and sometimes noticing. I just looked over, and the doorknob in my house is a circle, and so by noticing those, then you really start to see it, and then I think that frees up your creativity so that you can then get that information out. And so you think about all the different shapes that are around us, as well as colors, by consciously noticing those things. It really helps us to bring out our inner circle, or our inner red, or whatever that pattern is that we want to share with the world.
I've often talked to my students about, and other people too, like on this show, how I really feel that artists do get more out of life because they are more aware. They do see a lot if they're in a car, say with the family. I think the one that's studying art, it sees more color, sees more shape, sees more connection to nature, and is constantly looking for those connections and those awarenesses and patterns to come together, because that's how you're taught to do art. And also that starts with the love of art. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of interesting how this is all tying in. It's really kind of interesting, too, how our content is going here, because I really was thinking it was going to go in a different direction, and going with the flow here, it's really interesting how it's taken this turn because originally I was going to talk about the relationships of the muscles to your brain, and how I had come across an article on Facebook about a man who had lost his arms in an electrical accident, and now 40 years later they're able to connect up the different muscles in his brain with some prosthetics, and he can now do some simple tasks, and he's just feeling amazed at how his whole world has changed because of now being able to do that. And I was also, at the same time, when I was preparing the content, two of my adult students in my art classes told me about the one was a helicopter pilot, a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and he was saying that they are now training pilots where they can use their brain to fly the plane, and how that affects everything. And so I just thought, wow, that's really interesting how things take a spin in different directions, even though you're going down one direction. If you're aware and if you notice things and love to play with life and things, it goes the right way for you. So I want to thank you, Kimberly.
Yeah, but also you think about an artist needs to be able to send signals from their brain to their hand in order to sculpt or paint or draw, or usually art is communicated from the brain to the hands to create that. And so we are using our minds to control our muscles and expressing, again, that what's inside, into sharing that with the world. And there are lots and lots of ways that we can make those connections stronger. There's brain research to say that artists and musicians have a stronger corpus callosum, thicker, bigger more functional corpus callosum. And the corpus callosum is that part, it's a bunch of nerves that connect the right side and the left side.
Interesting.
And what that does is it helps you use your hands and your legs better. Also, it helps you to speak better, to be able to speak and do art and math and sciences, and really, like, the Renaissance person is a person with a strong corpus callosum, that they can really bring in both sides of their brain, all of the function in both sides. And through color, through art, through expression, we can strengthen that part of our brain.
Yeah, that's why art's so good for you.
Absolutely.
You know, and bringing in all these other information that you just really got a lot of good information about all the rest of it too, Kimberly.
Yeah, I just wanted to share one more story about a man that
Sure, go ahead.
I watched a video about him, and he was colorblind, completely colorblind since birth. And he developed this equipment that he put these electrodes on his head, connected to a video camera, and when the video camera saw something that was green, the electrode would vibrate in a certain way. And he developed the ability to say, oh, this is green, this is red, this is yellow. Like,
wow.
He saw colors in a sense. He was interpreting the vibration in a completely different way than most of us. Most of us, the light hits our eyes, and that vibration is communicated to our brain, and we interpret certain colors. But he was able to do it with the vibration on his scalp, that certain colors vibrated in a different way, and he was able to start to differentiate different colors and see color.
Wow.
And he was an artist also, and he did most of his work in black and white until he developed this equipment, and then he started to do things where he painted in color. You know, when he looked at his painting, he perceived it in a completely different way than we do, but he perceived green as green and yellow as yellow, and he was able to I think differentiate like 64 different colors.
Wow, amazing.
Like a crayon box, the big crayon box.
Yep, that's 64 colors. I think you can get 122 these days.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Such stimulating information. So that ends our story, or our hangout for today. And I just loved it, Kimberly. I like our flow here. We did really well with bringing some good information to our viewers. And why don't you let them know, Kimberly, again, how they can get a hold of you?
Yes, the best place is my website, sensationalmedicine.creatingcalmnetwork.com. And if you go over there right now, I have a couple of specials on if you want to work with me. I work with people with Parkinson's disease, with multiple sclerosis, Huntington's, ataxia, balance issues, chronic pain, those kinds of things. And if you'd like to work with me, I would love to talk with you. There are also other programs and shows that I've done that you're welcome to listen to.
Awesome. And then can you say a little bit about Creating Calm Network, too? I think our viewers might be curious about that.
Creating Calm Network is one of the places that Sandra hosts her shows, and we have a wide range of shows that are great for artists, for people looking for inspiration. We have several cooking shows, if that's how you express your creativity through cooking. There's some wonderful shows and just different ways to look at the world. And I think, now in 2015, I think that the more ways that we can look at our world, the more ways that we can understand our world and appreciate our world, I think it makes us better people to be able to look at the world from different perspectives. And I think that when we look at the world from different perspectives, we literally see more opportunities, and we draw and attract those opportunities to ourselves. And so that's one of the things that sorry, that you can find at the Creating Calm Network.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been a member of the Creating Calm Network for over a year, maybe 2 years, and it is awesome to be with like-minded people and sharing information, putting up your own shows and getting feedback on them. And Kimberly is very good at that too. She's the publicity gal there, marketer girl, and so it's just a good way to go. And yeah, the more you get out there with your information and what you have to share with the world, I think that we're all being called to play bigger and bigger and bigger and enjoy it more and have more fun. And that's the way the vibration rolls. If you're out there and you're having fun and you got a good vibration, you're going to attract more of the same. So that's little law of attraction tip. So how you can get a hold of me is everything in social media is under my name, sandralongmore.com. And so I have, I'm on everything, Pinterest and Facebook and everything there. And I also have 2 Google Plus communities that I would love if you feel you're in alignment with it to join. And the first one is this one here. It's the Art of Ageless Living, Law of Attraction, the Fast, Fun Way. And on that one, I talk about ageless living and being an artist and living ageless and looking at your life as a work of art. And my other community is this one. It's Artisan and Crafter Community Mastermind Support. And there you will have a place where you can share your art and get feedback and positive things. And I would love to have you in that community too. And then I have one more thing that's happening, and that is Medallion Art School, where I am a teacher here. In fact, that's where I am right now. Medallion Art School has a Facebook page, and we would love to have you come over on that Facebook page and like us. So there's lots of ways you can get a hold of me. It's all under Sandra Longmore, the web, and any of those communities. So wonderful having you here, viewer. And I'm looking forward to my next show. It'll either be Saturday or Thursday, and I'll let you know later. So thanks again. Have an awesome year. Best ever.